All right, on today's show, we're going to explore the most important Instagram updates, including some new AI powered features for Instagram stories to really make them stand out. They tend to all look the same after a while, right? Also, a new way to get inspiration from Instagram when you're feeling stuck, which I'm excited about. An amazing new tool for marketers where it'll generate a PDF report based on your Instagram insights, as they call them, or analytics, and lots more. My name is Jerry Potter, host of the Social Media Marketing Talk Show, a social media examiner production where we break down all the latest social media news and what it means for marketers like you. All right, let's jump in. Instagram is adding lots more to Instagram stories. This is interesting because it feels like there hasn't been a lot of updates around stories in the, well, let's just say this year. But the Add Yours clips, they're expanding this now in stories to support multiple photos or videos using templates. So obviously people must be using them and enjoying them. That's sort of a hint to us as marketers already if we're not using them, right? The Add Yours feature. Also, they're adding new templates, so users can now respond to story prompts using dynamic templates, making it easier for them and the response content to potentially be higher quality. And also, lots more. All you have to do to find these, by the way, is look in templates. So it appears under the Add Yours templates or Add More with Add Yours. So right there within the app, if you want to look that up. And then also Meta AI is coming into Instagram stories as well to give you some restyling tools, we'll call them. So for example, you'll be able to edit photos and videos directly in the app. It's interesting that Instagram has invested all this time and money into this separate Instagram Edits app, which we'll talk about some updates that sound pretty cool in just a second. But more and more of these are still getting integrated into the main app. So you'll be able to add, remove, or change elements just using text prompts, or choose from a variety of like preset effects like fashion tweaks, artistic styles like watercolor or film noir, immersive environments like put me underwater or make me in flames or, different things like that. So a lot more things you can do to make your Instagram stories stand out as people are going through and tapping them. These features are accessible. There's a restyle icon after you select the media for stories. So that's what you want to look for, see if you have it, and see if it's worth your time. So lots more updates we got to talk about, but real quick, one person learns tactics, but a whole team really creates transformation. Here's what I mean. When you bring your whole team to social media marketing world together, they multiply their results exponentially. I've been going for years and I always see this. I meet these teams and they're exchanging ideas and somebody is going, okay, I'll do this right away and I'll do this right away, as opposed to when you go by yourself and you go home with a bunch of notes and then it's much harder to implement, right? So together you can cover more sessions, share more insights, cross-pollinate your AI and strategy ideas in real time, and make more valuable connections that can lead to lots of exciting new opportunities. Plus, your team will have built-in support for implementation success. So Stacey Brown said, the conference gave me a new vision for my work, opened my eyes to where I could take my career. And Noah Stanley, who went to Social Media Marketing World, said, the mindset, openness, and amount of time your experts gave us was head and shoulders above other conferences. I will bring multiple members of my staff next year. So don't just learn alone. Social Media Marketing World is coming up. Multiply your team's marketing power by attending Social Media Marketing World together. Go to socialmediamarketing.world to find out more info. There's a 10-ticket limit, but you can go and snap those up right now. 10 tickets per group. Socialmediamarketingworld.info. All right, Instagram Reels is adding watch history, but in a more usable way. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying, hey, if you need inspiration, sometimes if you're making Reels, you're watching Reels to get inspired. Sometimes you're just watching them for fun. And maybe you save it, or maybe you forgot to save it. Now you're going to be able to go into your watch history. But what they've added as well is basically filters. So you can sort from newest to oldest, or you can sort by date range. So for example, you could go through and just look at the ones from yesterday or last Tuesday, for example. And so that way, if you know you watched something and you wanted to see it, it's a little easier to find. Another update that I love about this is you can do it by a specific account. So again, sometimes maybe a certain creator or business's reels are coming up regularly. You'll be able to go in and narrow your history by a certain account and see them all together. Another AI-powered update now for Reels is they're expanding language support. So Meta AI is now supporting automatic Reels translation and dubbing in both Hindi and Portuguese, in addition to English and Spanish. I really think this is an incredible opportunity for certain marketers and businesses. When I was at a conference recently, there was a guy who was a YouTuber, but he was also on Instagram and TikTok and all the different platforms. And one of the things that he had shared is his presence blew up when he stopped making videos that had speaking in them because they had international appeal. Now, what he did was a little bit more physical, but a lot of brands where you are doing something physical, whether it's fashion or cooking or different things like that, you could absolutely do this. And when he did that, all of a sudden, he started reaching all of these audiences that didn't necessarily speak the same language. He did mention that he uses emojis because emojis are international, right? So, but in addition, now we're getting these tools where you can actually change what you're saying into another language and what they are calling dubbing or lip sync, where your mouth or whoever's making the video will actually match the other language. So imagine that if you've ever watched a dubbed movie and you're like, okay, well, their lips don't match. Now we have the technology to make that better. So that's built into this feature. Translation and lip sync features are optional and fully editable. So you can turn them on or off or make changes anytime. So it's not a permanent thing. And soon, Meta is also going to add translations for text and caption stickers. So even the stuff that you put on the screen, assuming you do it natively in Instagram, you'll be able to translate that into different languages. So this is incredibly powerful. And I think this is something that we should all be thinking about for 2026 is how can we be reaching more people, assuming that we have a way to serve them and assuming that's part of our market. All right, the Instagram Edits app is finally adding some cool tools, not just for creating the content, but for marketers specifically. For example, users can now generate and share PDF reports containing account and Reels performance metrics. So I see a couple of great uses for this. When I worked at an agency, making reports every month for clients was like the bane of my existence. We finally got a system where it wasn't too bad. It was just kind of like taking the numbers and plugging them in. Now we have these great tools. So for example, if you are wanting to generate a report either internally for your company or to share with others, you can actually get a PDF right there from inside of Instagram. But in addition to that, I was thinking about how you can take a PDF and easily upload it to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI tool you use, and then have it analyze it and make recommendations on that. So again, this is inside of the Edits app that you can get on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. There's also a bunch of new sound effects that have been added, a new search tool, and lots of other ones. And then this is a big deal to some people, but I think definitely anytime you can use a font that's not seen all the time on Instagram, it catches people's eyes. And there is a font called Jenny, which is from a K-pop star, and they're calling it the first Korean font on Instagram. So if that pertains to your audience, that might be something that's worth checking out next time you are in the Edits app. Also, additional effects that are being added like color correction. So if you really want to get in and fine tune things, or you shot something and it just looked wrong and you don't have a way to reshoot it, then you can go in and do some stuff with that. And then also custom caption animation. So this is just iOS users right now, but you can personalize captions with customizable animations. Again, to basically let them stand out in a way that, again, if somebody is just tapping through, or swiping through these different reels or stories, will actually stand out. So I'm excited now to have tell you about another thing that's happening with professional accounts. So they're adding competitive insights tools. So if you have a professional account, so this is the business account or the creator profile, the competitive insights feature is an opportunity to select 10 similar accounts to yours and then compare metrics like follower growth, posting frequency, Reels activity, even boosted ads. Now, personally, I think we always have to think about mental health as well as this. Like, we always want to compete with ourselves more than anything else, but it does feel good to know how we're doing against other accounts that we consider to be similar. So if you want to check this out, you can find it under the professional dashboard and start setting that up for you or the brand that you manage today. The boosted post part is only boosted post. It doesn't include anything that's run via Meta Ads Manager, but can still kind of give you a general idea. Rollout is gradual. They're saying availability may vary by user, which means that some of you have it today and some of you will get it in I don't know, a year or two, the way that Instagram seems to go. So, and Instagram is testing a new navigation layout in the app. So when you switch between different sections of Instagram, and this is brilliant, and I think this is something that all platforms may do at some point. I don't know, maybe not. It would make the tutorials confusing, but they're testing having the navigation tabs ordered by usage. So in other words, the features that you used more often might show up, in a more convenient place. So, but what they're testing right now is stories in feed first, reels second, DMs third. And then users can swipe between the tabs to streamline access to your most used features. Of course, this also sticks with what Instagram has been saying for a long time, where we're talking about reels and DMs. And those are the main things that they are sending people toward. So right now, if you see it pop up in your app, it'll be offered as an early trial. And then you can opt in if you want to try that out. They're not just moving stuff around on us just for the sake of it. All right, a quick reminder, learn more about an all-access ticket. Bring your whole team if you want to Social Media Marketing World today. Go to socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world. And if you enjoy the Social Media Marketing Talk Show, another podcast for you to add to your listening lineup, we have the Social Media Marketing Podcast as well. So wherever you are listening to this, you should be able to find that as well. Until next time, may you be wise with your marketing decisions. Thanks, everyone. Bye.